Alright, so we're gonna be doing the Nova Crest Palace, the Friday one. So go to Exploring, Crest Palace, right here, the Shrine of Caliginosity. The only reason you should be doing this is if you have 4 pluses and you want to get them to 5 plus. Otherwise, just do extremes if you're farming, or pros. So what I mean by that is, right here, this is a pro. It says pro. There's not an extreme on Friday because there's Nova. It says Nova right there. So the pros, the chance of getting 4 plus is 1 in 1,000, and then the extremes, the chance of getting a 4 plus is 1 in 500, and the novas, nobody's done like data on it, so I don't know, but it's probably 1 in 500 or maybe less. Either way, it's definitely not worth it because the extremes are a lot faster to farm. The only reason you would ever do a nova is to get a 5 plus because it's the only way to get a 5 plus. So like on Summer Miyu, I have 3 4 pluses. So this is the unit I would be using if I was doing novas. But since she's one of the best units in the game, I'm not going to use her. I want to use this team comp right here. Like this is my fastest team comp. I can clear it in less than 2 minutes. But I'm going to use this one just to show you you don't need the best team comp. Because if you have this one, if you have all 4 of these units, you probably already know how to clear this yourself. If you have all 4 of these, like you might, but maybe not. But I'm also going to give alternatives for all the units. So Shadow, damage buffer, you could use Shadow. He's definitely the best for this. Like he is insane. And then other damage buffers you could use. Let's see, like maybe Diablo. He's pretty good. Mm, Summer Miyu's really good. Shadow's really good. If you have either of them, definitely just use them. Uh, who's this? Luvia and Rin. They're pretty good for magic since they have this. And then Summer Luvia and Rin. Hazuki, Nabe, Momon. All of these are really good damage buffers that all could go in this spot. But Shadow's just my favorite and the best. And then Islid, this is just an Archgener. So Islid, Sunraku, who else? Pencilgon. If you have Summer Iris, you should only use her on fire teams because she only Archgens 4 fire units. But she is one of the best Archgeners for fire units. But if you don't have a mono fire team, just don't use her. Chloe's really good for this. Hoka's the best for it. And then SGL would work on a magic team. Ainz would work on a dark team probably. Those are all the ascended ones. But if you have heart, and you don't have one of the better uh, options, definitely use him. He's really good. He can heal the team too. And then some other archdinners like Emp, OG Emp, Mako, um, Rimuru, normal Rimuru. He's really good. All of those are really good archdinners that can fill both of these roles for Sunraku and Islid. These two I'm just using because they're pretty recent. So Sunraku, like the Shangri-La Frontier, is out right now, and then Islid was out like a month ago or something. And then Kirasame, you just need a tank. So for this, you could maybe get away with Volti LR. I don't know if any other Awoken tank is going to work. Like Thetis might, maybe, but then the Ascended ones, Kiri will work. Gamagori would probably work. I haven't tried him because I just have Kiri and Shiro, who are just better. But Gamagori, I don't see why he wouldn't work. And then Albedo over here, she would definitely work. Shiro is the best to use on this fight, but I'm just showing you that if you don't have Shiro, you still can beat it. So I'm using Kiri. And then usually you would want, so instead of Sunraku, so make sure you're not using non-stacking Archgen types. So there's a bunch of different Archgen types. There's B, which is like GS units like Islid and Heart and um, who else? I don't know, but there's a bunch of them. And then there's Type E, which is the crossover units like Hoka, Sunraku, Chloe, and then there's Type F like Pensilgon, Ilya, and the Demon Lord Rimuru that's going to come out, not this one, the next one. If you use any of those on the same team, they won't stack. So like Sunraku, Chloe, and Hoka, don't use them on the same team because they won't stack. Don't use Islid and Heart on the same team because they won't stack. So you're gonna have to use two different ones. So like Islid is Type B and Sunraku is Type E, so they will stack. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just look up Archgen types. It'll show you like a big graph with all of the different Archgen types and all the units in them. Just make sure you're not using the same ones. And then, so usually you're supposed to break stage 3 with someone like Chloe or Pensilgon. But if you have a good damage dealer, like Sunraku and like this comp, they have a bunch of damage up and damage down. Sunraku has a lot of damage on his super art. Shadow has a bunch of physical res down. Um, Islid has a huge damage taken up. If you have all of those, it's definitely going to be faster to just do that instead of breaking it because breaking stage 3 does take a while. But if you don't have a good damage dealer, like, let's see. So if you didn't, you definitely need two Archdinners and a tank. But your flex right here, Shadow is a really good choice for it, but you might need a DPS or a breaker here. So like Pensilgon as a breaker. Swap out Sunraku for Chloe if you need to. And you could use Delta, Uzu, DL Rim, and if you have Shiro, he can also do a lot of damage on this because he has light and dark damage up level 7. So he does do a lot more damage to them. But Uzu hits really hard on this, Delta hits really hard on this because she has a defense ignore. She'll clear the final boss pretty easy. All of these units are good. There's definitely a bunch of different comps you can make with this, for this one specifically. The Sunday one is a lot harder. The other Nova, that one is a lot harder. If you are gonna farm for 5 pluses, definitely just do this one. Because that one you like need Kiri or Shiro, you need Pensilgon, DL Rim, Hoka. It's just not that fun to do without them. This one is definitely a lot easier. So this is what I'm going to be running with. The equips, all your physical and magic, just use true equips. It's not that important. For support equips, just use Archgen. And then if you have a heal equip, probably use a Blessed Necklace to just keep your tank alive. And then for the defense equips, you have to use what pertains to the fight. So we're going to use this one because light and dark damage up. But if you don't have this, there's plenty of different ones you could use. I don't have all of them, but you could use Junketsu right here. Urza's armor, Mikey's outfit, Saber Alter's armor, Two-Faced helmet, Bazette's apron. There's a bunch of different ones. Just look at them. You're gonna want dark damage taken down. You're gonna want light damage taken down, preferably dark taken down. But if you can get one with both, use it. And then you're gonna want like physical damage taken down, all of it. And then I'm using his true equip just because it's his true equip, and it'll help him. So this is what we're gonna run with, and this shouldn't take that long. But again, you should only ever do this if you already have 4 pluses on a character and you're farming for 5 pluses. Otherwise, there's no reason, ever. This just takes too long for farming. Unless you're just trying to full clear it just once. But don't farm this unless you already have your 4 pluses. So the first 2 waves are just going to be ads, so just clear them. Just using true arts. I'm gonna save shadows for the next one because his is stacking. It's a stacking debuff, so it's not gonna go through the stages. I'm just gonna use it right here. I'm gonna spam his true art until probably half, and then I might use a super art in the second half of the fight. But we're definitely gonna want to use this. We're gonna get a crit debuff from Sunraku. Keep spamming that true art, and then we're gonna save our defense equips for that half mark. Right now we're not doing that much damage, but once we get going, we will just do a lot more. So after this, we're gonna use a Sunraku super art, and it should hit a little bit harder. Especially with this True Delta's bodysuit. If you didn't get it, kind of unfortunate. It is a really good equip. It's just a lot of damage. So just slowly make your way through this. If you don't have a good damage dealer, this fight is going to take forever. And if you don't have a breaker, like if you don't have a good damage dealer, use a breaker. And if you don't have either, you just don't do this fight. Coming up on the halfway point. Hopefully soon. This should get us there. And then we're just going to use, once he makes the animation, yep, right there. Now we're going to use our defense equips. And then we're going to watch our tank. Just watch the bar right there. And if it gets low, get ready to refill it. Now we're going to use a Shadow Super Art so we can get a big damage boost. He's going to do a 200% damage boost for units not in status helmet, and none of them are in status helmet. We're going to use both these at the same time, and it should do a lot of damage. This is by far the longest fight on this whole thing, on the whole Nova. But it's not the hardest. It's pretty easy. This one, you just gotta be careful, because once you get her to halfway, she has a damage negation cancel, so like your shields won't work. So right now, see that cancels damage negation right here in the log. So my shield is gonna go away. Just make sure you're careful. Get her out of the way as fast as you can, and then right away you're gonna wanna recharge your shield. Try and get it up as fast as possible. I don't think I'm gonna need to use the True Art one. Probably be good just using the Super Art one. Yeah. Then we're gonna try and get another shield just in case. This does a lot of damage. And we're gonna save our equips, our defense equips, for that final threshold. And now we're gonna use Shadow Super Art because the boss went crit immune, and Shadow has a defense ignore on his Super Art. So crits, they ignore defense, but if the boss is crit immune, you still need a defense ignore. So we're gonna use this. And then hopefully we can get another Super Art before the boss dies. And we should be good. So we're in Apocalypse, so now we're gonna use both our equips. We have our Super Art, so now we just watch the bar. If it gets low, just get ready to use this. It didn't, but just in case. And then the fight's over, basically. Yeah. So 246 isn't that bad for this fight. But yeah, there's no reason to farm this unless you're getting 5 pluses, because it's the only way to get a 5 plus. And the other fight is like, I think the fastest on the other fight is 2 minutes or something. So, uh, I didn't get to see the damage, but it was probably Shadow who did the most, and then Sunraku. It doesn't really matter who does the most damage. But yeah, this team is it's a pretty strong team. You're gonna need a strong team if you want to clear this. You just make sure you have the your defense equips up when the nukes are going, otherwise you will just die. And if you have a blessed necklace and a unit that has a 4-star heal, make sure you put a blessed necklace on them, and then just put it on your tank to keep them alive. Because as long as one unit stays alive, you'll get the crest, and that's all that really matters. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So